right, so welcome back to the channel, guys. It is me, 8744. So today, guys, we're back at it again for Europa League and Conference League live reaction. So, guys, we got a lot of stuff to discuss about. So we're gonna start with the Europa League first. Then we'll get to the Conference League. Out of the way, maybe briefly touch upon the finals. So we have our finals set, guys. And yeah, guys, remember guys to like and subscribe. The links out there in the community tab if you guys want to join. And yeah, like I said, guys. So let's start with the first match. Honestly, I'll be really honest with you guys. The Europa League semis were pretty much one-sided. So we're not gonna. I think we'll probably preview more of the final segment rather than the semifinals itself. If that makes sense. So we're gonna start with the first game we got here. Is United 4, Bilbao 1. I mean, this was relatively straightforward. I would say Bilbao were actually pretty good. For like good part of the game, I thought the first half they were fantastic. That goal they scored was an amazing goal there. Fantastic goal there. And yeah, I just thought United were really bad in the first half. I was like, wow, this is shocking. In the second half, Bilbao kept creating a lot of chances, but they couldn't score. And then eventually, Amorim made the substitutions, and pretty much the substitutions pretty much won United this game. The 62nd minute, Mason Mount coming on, having an impact. Diallo as well. Højlund scoring a goal. Casemiro, Euro, Bruno Fernandes, and yeah, basically United pretty much cruise control to victory. And it's crazy to say, man, but the substitutions of United made a huge difference in that. I know it's really weird to say in retrospective because obviously even if United didn't make the subs, they still would have advanced. But because they won the first like 3-0. But it is kind of shocking though. Like the substitutions really had to bail out United today. So yeah, I mean, are you shocked that the substitutions had are you shocked that the substitutions had to save the day?
I mean, it is worth noting that in the first half, I think Bilbao didn't create anything. The only chance they had was that screamer. And apart from that, Bilbao didn't create anything. And also, Garnacho had a easy chance to score in the first half. If he scores that, then it's game over.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So yeah, but I do think we were much better after the subs were made. And I mean, it makes sense. Because Ugarte was having a good game, so Mount was an instant upgrade. Same with Ahmad. And yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, I think it is a bit unfortunate that the subs had to bail us out. But on the other hand, I don't think, seeing as how quality Mount is, and we know how quality Mino is for the final, you'll probably have to have Mino and Mount on the bench. So you have two quality players on the bench there with already a strong first 11. So yeah, I mean, I take this as a positive. I take this as United having a better squad. And yeah, I mean, we're very happy for Mason Mount. He's struggling a lot with injuries, but I mean, tonight we saw what he can do.
Yeah, for sure, man. So yeah, I mean, for United, as I said, man, it is a big win, and like I said, the substitutions really made the difference, and it just shows that United, even at the worst, still have a lot of quality in the team. Yeah, you could bring on Mason Mount off the bench, you could bring Diallo off the bench, Minu off the bench, like that's very impressive. So for Bilbao, as I said, man, it was just bad, unfortunate timing because look at this, man, Iñaki Williams, Nicky Williams both got injured, and yeah, there was like. When you have because let's be real, these are pretty much two of their best players. When you have those, Sanka as well, I would say is probably one of the best two. When you have three of your best players injured, it was always going to be difficult to do the comeback.
But I would also like to mention, look at the injuries from the other side as well.
So yeah, I mean that is also true. That's also a fair point. But at least all your key players aren't injured. I would say Bilbao, almost all their key players got injured. So, but I mean for United, as I said, man. They did it, and you got to give it to them, man. Scoring 7 goals against one of the best teams in La Liga is still very commendable. And it's just it's crazy to say because United have had a really bad season, probably the worst season they've had in many years. You would probably say, right?
Yeah.
So it just shows, man. If United, as I said, man, they finally get past the Spanish hoodoo because Spanish teams have been the kryptonite in the last couple of years in the European competition. So they finally got past that, and they eliminated 2 Spanish teams in quite convincing fashion, Real Sociedad and Bilbao. So for United, as I said, man, congratulations, you're back in the final, your first final since 2021. And wait, how many times have United made the Europa League final in general?
3.
The overall history, do 3? Okay, so the 2016 was the first time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 3rd European final. So yeah, for United, as I said, man, I thought they were very, very dominant. They deserved the win, and for Bilbao, as I said, man, just really embarrassed. Just really bad. Is it embarrassing?
I have a stat as well. In 2 games against all of these clubs played 2 games against Bilbao. Barcelona scored 4 in 2 games. Real Madrid scored 2. in 2 games, and Atletico Madrid scored 2 in 2 games, while Ruben Amorim's Manchester United scored 7 in 2 games.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me do a quick run through the goals. Mount, that goal was great for Mount. I believe Yoro got the assist there. It was a great curler there, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken. Then Casemiro scored that. I think it was a header from Casemiro, if I'm not
header
mistaken.
from a free kick.
Yeah, header from a free kick. And then obviously Hoyland scored a really good play there. I think it was from Bruno that got the assist, or I think it was Bruno,
Ahmad.
right? Oh, sorry, Ahmed. Ahmed got the assist. And I think Bruno got the assist for the last goal. That last goal, man, that was bad goalkeeping there from Bilbao. But yeah, I mean, would you say this is embarrassing for Bilbao?
It
Because
is.
this is the
I mean, like, of course, because I understand that they have players injured, but considering that they were still in the game, like I think as a United fan, I was still a bit nervous when they were 1-0 up. So it is a bit embarrassing that they were pretty competitive throughout the game, but then they conceded 4 goals in the last 10 minutes.
yeah, and so it is kind of a bad look for La Liga. Like this is the 14th place team smashing the fourth place team in La Liga. It looks pretty embarrassing when you put it that perspective. But obviously, we know United. They're no, it's just one season, So I
Yeah,
wouldn't be that harsh. United. We don't expect United to be regularly 14. Now, if they are, then that's a different convo. But
yeah,
this is the off season, so but still, man, like it looks been bad, and this was a great opportunity for Bilbao, man. Europa League final at your own crib, chance to win a trophy at home in front of your fans, and Nico Williams must be thinking. Actually, this is really weird for Nico Williams because now that Barca didn't win the Champions League and now Bilbao didn't win the Europa League. So, do you think he regrets staying at Bilbao, or do you think he still should have made the move to Bilbao? Sorry,
I mean,
Barca.
I think staying at Bilbao was the best for him because he still would be the star player. And as good as he is, he's not starting at Barcelona ahead of Mal and Rafinha. So for his own career, probably Bilbao's the best at currently.
Yeah. So, like I said, for Bilbao, as I said, man, it is what it is. At least they're going to get Champions League. They should finish in the top five. And
Yeah.
so, at least, it's not like, it's not that bad.
Oh,
You're
but
going to be
I
in the
don't
Champions
think
League mostly.
was Spain at fifth. No,
Yeah,
fourth.
Spain's going to get five teams. Five teams.
Okay.
So, Spain, England. Yeah. So, Bilbao, as I said, man, it's fine. They should finish in the top five. And you probably, United, as much as I don't want to say this, United probably do need this more than they do. So, United put everything on the line for this trophy because they know that the Premier League is lost cause. They're out of the
Yeah.
Carabao Cup. They're out of the FA Cup. So everything is hinging upon this. So, yeah. Let me read some of you guys' comments before we move. What a win, United boys. Casemiro, my guy. Casemiro, man. Is he balling out? By the way, do you think Casemiro is back, or you just think that's just
I
you just
think
think it's from the
he's
past?
back. He's not his. He won't ever be like he was in his first season because that first season he was one of the best midfielders in the world, in my opinion. But I don't think. Um, Honestly, I blame his second season. In retrospect, I blame it on Ten Hag. I just don't think Casemiro, when he started to lose his pace, to lose his mobility, Ten Hag couldn't figure out what to do with him. Amorim has figured out what his best role is in this team, and has. I mean, if anyone wants to bring up players that Amorim has improved, Casemiro at 33, he's improved his game a lot. This is quite something. So yeah, I think I wouldn't say he's back, but I do think that he's improved massively. He's improved. I mean, even this season, at the beginning, um, cost us games against Liverpool, but again, that was Ten Hag. So yeah, for Casemiro's revival, I give full credit out to Amorim.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I feel like he won't ever be at his best because, like, with
Yeah,
all due
yeah,
respect, as good as he's been, this is the Europa League after all. Like,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
a massive gap of quality between Europa League and Champions League. So for me, this should improve that. Oh, we should be back for Brazil because let's be real,
Nah,
he's
nah,
in
I
Brazil. He's
think.
done with Brazil. He's done for Brazil. Like, he
Yeah,
shouldn't be back in the Brazil national team. But this will be a good send off. I think if he could get a Europa League trophy at his like final for United, he would do good. Like I would say, obviously, he won't be a legend at United because obviously he hasn't stayed that long. But he would probably be a great player. Would you say?
yeah. I mean, cult hero, good.
Yeah, cult hero. So, yeah, for Casemiro, man, it's good to see him getting back to that form that getting back to somewhat close to his first season form. But yeah, I mean, great to see it. Hoyland finally scoring, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's taken so long for him to score a European goal. So it's huge for him. And for United, as I said, man, it's crazy, man. 7 goals against Bilbao is really impressive. Like, like that's crazy. If you had told me that before this game, I would have been like laughing. I was like, "Are you having a laugh? Are you smoking crack or something?" Like if like even you probably are surprised too. Like you didn't expect to score 7
Yeah.
before these two games
And I
happened.
think what's more impressive is that the only goal they scored was a volley.
So, now obviously we could be harsh and say that, oh, Bilbao were underwhelming. And yes, they were underwhelming, but you can't take anything away from United because
Yeah.
we didn't expect United to be this amazing and Bilbao to be this bad. So for Bilbao, as I said, man, it's tough,
Sorry.
but you got to give United credit where it's due. And for United, as I said, man, they better win the Europa League. They better win it. So we'll get to the other semifinal. For this one, man, Bodo Glimt 0, Tottenham 2. Actually, before we get to that one, let me read some comments here. Now United's been mid for many years. I mean, yeah, they have been mid.
Not this bad.
Yeah, like this is the worst we've seen United. Like I have not seen United be this bad in my life. Like even last season, as bad as they were, they only finished 8th.
I mean, we were third 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, like United. Like what have you? I have never seen in my life, and I believe this is true. United have never finished below mid-table.
No.
This is the first time.
Yeah.
So this is like groundbreaking. So, like I said, and also, it'd be really interesting. I just realized actually, I'll save it for the final segment when we get to the final.
Yeah.
But yeah, first United go open the floodgates. Absolutely. Boy says, yo, thank you for joining. Okay, so Bodo Glimt 0, Tottenham 2. I'll be honest with you.
No,
Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just saying, quite underwhelming from Bodo Glimt.
Yeah, like Bodo Glimt, I thought they would do better in this game, but I just felt like Tottenham, they defended really well. I have to give them that. Tottenham actually defensively were good in this game, which is kind of weird to say because Tottenham in general this season have not been good defensively. I think you would even agree with that. Like defensively, they have not been good. But I think in the Europa League, especially against Frankfurt and Bodo Glimt, they were largely great defensively, which is very impressive to say. Like this is something we don't usually say with Tottenham. So you have to give Tottenham credit. They got the 2 goals at the end. In the second half, they got the 2 goals there. A great goal there from Solanke, right foot there from the corner. A great goal there. And the Pedro Porro, man. What a goal. That was the 69th minute. And yeah, Bodo really just I think for Bodo Glimt, this is still an incredible achievement to make the semifinals because nobody could have expected them to make the semifinals at the start of the season. And this is the first time ever they made the European semifinals ever in their history. And I believe it's the first time a Norwegian team has made a semifinals ever. So I think for Bodo Glimt, there's nothing to be ashamed of. I just think Spurs were just the better team. They just have the better players, better quality, and too much quality, and that's what sent them through. And for Spurs, as I said, man, I think I've realized the thing with this final. United is United probably have the best attack.
Yeah.
But Spurs probably have the best defense.
I'd say
potentially.
I'd say in the Europa League you could say, but I'd say in general this season, I think defensively we've been better. I think offensively we've actually struggled because if you look at a lot of our games where we've dropped points in the Premier League, it's games where we've had a better XG than the opposition.
Yeah, I was just based off the Europa League, by the way. So
based off the Europa League. But I feel like Premier League is more important for this final because it's 2 teams from the same league against each other.
So, yeah, I think I think it's a good segue to the final itself. So we're gonna briefly touch upon the final. Obviously, we're not gonna go too much into detail, because I'm sure but we'll give our early thoughts for this final. So the final will take place on May 21st. That is in 13 days. I know what the strange thing is, guys. This is the first European final being played, which is weird, and it's on a Wednesday as well, which is very strange. I don't know why. For some reason, it is, but it is what it is. And yeah, it should be let's be real. It should be the Conference League final that should be played first, but it is what it is. It doesn't really matter, I guess. But yeah, as a United fan, man, you must be licking your lips that you got Spurs.
I mean, in terms of football heritage, of course, Spurs have a history of bottling it, and also I do think Madison's out, I think Bergvall's out, Son could potentially be out, and so I mean, in terms of injuries, I mean we have injuries as well, but I mean the fact that we have the likes of Amad Diallo back, and then I mean for me personally, the lineup I would put out would be Ugarte, Casemiro, Bruno, Ahmad, and Rasmus as like the sort of midfield and attack. And with that lineup, you have the likes of Mainu and Mount on the bench. So yeah, I mean I'm confident in my team. People will bring up the fact that they beat us 3 times in the Premier League. But in my opinion, they only really outplayed us in one game, which was the game at Old Trafford. But that was with Ten Hag. Away from home, when we played them in the Premier League, we had an XG of 2 and we lost 1-0. So we were still the better team in terms of chance creation. And in the Carabao Cup, we played a very competitive game against them and we only lost due to goalkeeping errors. So I think there were different circumstances for each game, but I think since then we've progressed as a team. We've got better players now. We've got a good 11 now. I think these players have adapted to the Amorim system more. Bruno Fernandes has kicked on since then. And yeah, I think I'm confident for the final. And I'd say, yeah, bring it on.
Okay, because here's the thing with the final, and I don't think people realize a final isn't like any other game.
Yeah.
Everything's on the line. It's only one game. Got one chance. And here's the thing with Spurs. I know it was Spurs in that day. I know it was Spurs. But I will say the Spurs team looks a lot better than previous. Like, would you say this is the best Spurs for quite? Well, I would actually. I would say this is probably the. This is.
If we're being real here, they look better last season. And in his first season, looked better. Like in his first 10 games, they looked very good.
Yeah, that's a fair point. So you think Spurs this season have been worse than last season?
I think with Ange, I think this has been the worst Spurs team with Ange. And I mean, some Tottenham fans, it is Tottenham, but there's some Spurs fans are still saying that he needs to get sacked, even if he wins the Europa League. And this is Spurs.
Yeah. I feel like that's a bit harsh to sack him.
It's harsh, but the fact that they're saying that shows how bad they've been.
Okay, so I know you're not a Spurs fan, but let's say you were a Spurs fan. Would you sack Ange Postecoglou if you win the Europa League?
I personally wouldn't, but the reason why I would understand Spurs fans to do is because if he wins the Europa League, gets Champions League, what can he do next season? Yes, he's won the Europa League, but even with his own players, which he spent money on, because I know they have a few injuries right now, but they still have most of the players back. Yet they still look shocking. So the argument for Spurs fans wanting Ange out could be even with his own players, they've looked shocking. So what's the point in spending more money on him?
Yeah. It's also interesting. And it's also really interesting with this final. Both of these teams have been awful. Bottom half of the Premier League.
Yep.
And it's crazy that both of these teams it's basically make or bust. Basically, the winner is like in a really good position. And then the loser is like, we're finished, basically. Like the loser is like it's high risk, high reward. Like whichever team wins this will go crazy. Champions League after having a garbage season. And I've heard, some people say this, and I think it's really unfair. The Europa League winner, a team shouldn't get Champions League, which I disagree with. I feel like if you win the Europa League, you should get Champions League.
I've heard this. The logic is whoever wins will not even be competitive in the Champions League. That's their logic. But what my argument would be is that we've seen there are dozens of teams who will be there next season in the Champions League, and we know they won't compete. Shakhtar Donetsk have done it. Dynamo Moscow, Zenit. Young boys. We've seen many teams be very uncompetitive in the Champions League, yet they're still allowed to participate. So why does that logic not apply to those teams?
I think people are just saying that for this season because look at their league position. But I feel like you shouldn't really use league position as a way to justify that. Like that's not really a good metric, in my opinion. Like if your league position should have nothing to do with the European competition. If you win the European competition, fair and square. Like and guys, I'm sorry to say this. Spurs and Frankfurt Sevilla, they won the Europa League while being mid-table in the last couple of seasons.
Chelsea, when Chelsea won their first ever Champions League, they were only in the competition because they won the Europa League.
So, my thing is that if you win the Europa League, you should get Champions League. In my opinion, you should get. And if you're saying, oh, they shouldn't get it, then you have to then the other team shouldn't get it either. So why are you starting? Like, it's so unfair for the new teams now,
Like, in my opinion, this is only being said because it's Man United or maybe Spurs. They're big teams will get more coverage in that.
So, yeah, I just think it's interesting. And yeah, what's really interesting? If Spurs win a trophy here, Ange Postecoglou is probably Spurs' best manager of all time.
Not of all time, but yeah.
Well, maybe best of 21st century.
Yeah, we can say that. Yeah.
So, and these Spurs players, look so good. And what's really interesting? Harry Kane finally won a trophy this season. What we're saying.
But also, if you want to use that logic, the last time Mason Mount scored against a Spanish team in a European semi-final, he won it.
Yeah, that's what's true. There's also a Mount narrative. Mount last time Mount was really good. Chelsea won the Champions League, and it was really interesting. I remember that season. A lot of people thought Real Madrid would beat Chelsea.
Yeah.
And guess what? Chelsea beat Real Madrid. And a lot of people probably thought Bilbao would probably beat United. So, I'm just saying. And also, it'd be really interesting. If Amaro wins a trophy, the Europa League trophy, does he already surpass Ten Hag's legacy at United?
I think he needs next season, because next season he needs to get a good league position for that, probably.
I mean, Europa League is, I don't know what you think, TJS, but I think Europa League is bigger than two cup competitions like Carabao Cup and FA Cup.
You can say that, yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, you could say that, but I still want to see what he can do in a full season before me.
Oh yeah, of course, So, okay, let's say hypothetically it did happen. Would you say Amarim has done better or than Ten Hag?
I mean, considering that, you have to keep in mind, apart from Dogu, none of these players are his. So, and him winning a trophy, a big trophy, a bigger trophy than both of those competitions with Ten Hag won combined, with his players which aren't his own at all, in a system which is completely different to Ten Hag's. Yeah, probably say so.
You could probably make that argument. So, that's actually interesting. If you're Ten Hag and you're watching this, you don't want United to win this.
Might be a bit off topic, but I heard he's might go to Leverkusen, Ten Hag.
Dude, like Eric Ten Hag, I wonder how Eric Ten Hag feels about this final. Like, he must be thinking himself. And also, what's really interesting? Anthony could win both European competitions in the same season.
Yep.
So, like I said, this final is going to be very interesting because you guys know I don't really generally like teams from the same country playing against each other in the final, unless a big one. There's a huge rivalry. Like for me, El Clasico will be an exception. But generally, I don't like to see teams from the same country play against each other because usually it's not as interesting. Like, we already seen this before many times. It's not as because what I love about European competitions is the different styles playing against each other. Have like a different teams or different leagues playing against each other. That's why I love the European competitions for. And so when it's the same teams playing against each other in the same country, it's usually not the best. So we've seen it in the Europa League, but this isn't the first time it's happened in the Europa League. I mean, this is I think the third time my commentators say Chelsea Arsenal was the most. Yeah. And that ended up being 4-1 at Chelsea, 2019. Obviously, Eden Hazard masterclass.
I think Chelsea had a far better team, in my opinion. So I think this is probably a bit more even.
So, yeah, I mean, I think for this final, as I said, he was like this final for me. As much as I don't really want this final could have the most meaning of all Premier League finals we've had in quite some time because both these teams need this trophy.
Yeah.
And both these teams need Champions League for both clubs because both these teams are really big in England, so they both need this respectively. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this final pans out because you know what I think this final could either be a really good final or a really bad final. I don't think there's anything in between.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
I agree. Yeah, and from a footballing point of view, you could try to analyze the game, but for me, both teams might go for different styles because it's a final. So I feel like the other three games, which were, in my opinion, you can't use those for reference because, as you said, it's a final. All forms out the window, and but I think purely from a narrative point of view, it's a very entertaining final.
So yeah, for Spurs, I said, man, this is it, man. Can they break the trophy curse? And let me just say, man. I think which team? I mean, I think we can all agree that Spurs probably need this more, just in general,
Yeah.
So like if United loses, it's gonna look bad. It's gonna look really bad. For me, like I would probably say it'll be worse than Villarreal. Would you agree with that?
No, yeah, sure. I mean, because we finished second that season. I mean, we didn't need the Europa League to get to the Champions League.
And it's not even just that; it's that at least Villarreal have more heritage. They got to the Champions League semifinals, long time ago. And they've always competed well with Barca, Real Madrid, and they're still a respectable club in Spain. Whereas Spurs, on the other hand, are laughing stock.
Yeah.
Most people don't respect Spurs. Most people banter Spurs all the time. So
Yeah.
to let them win the first trophy, in my opinion, United is one of the biggest clubs in England. Now, if they're the biggest or not, that's completely up to you. But they're one of the biggest. Like, you cannot argue with that. At the biggest club of England, giving a banter team of Spurs would be embarrassing. Like, it would be really embarrassing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think that for me, it's going to be interesting to see how this final pans out, and I'm definitely going to look for it. Of course, I'll do my preview and prediction for it probably the week before. Of course, we'll do a live reaction after the final, and yeah, as I said, man, may the best team win, man. And by the way, does United or Spurs have any former players? Oh, Ericsson. Oh, Ericsson. Oh, I just got the Ericsson thing.
Oh, Bergvall. Oh, but he's
Bergvall.
He's out. He's out.
Wait, Bergvall played for United?
Academy.
Oh, Academy. I didn't actually know about that. But yeah, Ericsson. I think Ericsson's the only senior player, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think Madison. He's not. He's a United fan, but no, he probably won't be available either. So.
Yeah. So yeah, Ericsson, man. How does Ericsson feel about this? This is actually interesting.
I think it's very unlikely he'll be used off the bench, probably.
Obviously, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, this Europa League final, man, it's probably the strangest Europa League final we've had in quite some time. Because if you had told me at the beginning of the season, wait, what do you say?
I was just saying, I think Rangers Frankfurt was very random, I think.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Because actually, let's talk about this real quick before we go to comments. Actually, yeah, a lot of people did. I think a lot of people did have faith that maybe we'll get United Spurs Europa League final. Now, I don't think people expected United Spurs to be this bad, but this was a final that people probably were expecting, right?
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, yeah.
So, yeah. Let me read some comments. I feel like United football this year isn't as bad as results are. I don't know how to explain, bro. United have been garbage this season.
No, I mean, I do get what he means in the sense that in a lot of our games, we have created better XG than the opposition. So in that sense, we haven't been as bad as results say. But at the same time, if you don't finish your chances, there'll be consequences.
Yeah, that's the thing with football. It doesn't matter how well you play. It doesn't matter how many XG you have or all this stuff, possession, all this stuff. It's about putting the ball inside the net. Yeah. If you don't do it more than your opponent, you lose. Yeah. And that's what I love about football is that you can do any style. You don't have to. You can be clinical with your chances. You can create so many chances. But at the end of the day, there's only one thing that matters the most. It's all about the goals. It doesn't matter about your possession. It doesn't matter about your shots on target. It doesn't matter about all that. And that's the thing. And for me, I don't really like to say the term deserve or undeserved because at the end of the day, regardless of whether it's deserved or undeserved, it is what it is. You can't change it. You can't change the result. You have to live with it. So, I mean, do you agree with me in that sense?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you can say that, my team should have won, your team should have won. The day matters is that the team who won would get all the credits. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's read some guys. Like when I see them play, it's not that bad. It's just moments they saw, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Bodo Glimt did good. Yeah, Bodo Glimt, man. Hats off, man.
Respectable.
Incredible. Respectable. So Bodo Glimt, you shouldn't feel ashamed. Bilbao, maybe a little bit, but Bodo Glimt, no, there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to be ashamed of. So you did well, man. Any other year, I'd rather United win UEL, but I want Spurs to win a trophy. Yes, same here, man. Spurs, man. I want Son Heung-min to win a trophy because this might be his final season at the club. Oh, by the way, do you think this is going to be his last season at the club? Because I feel like it might be.
No, I've heard Spurs fans say that he'll stay because of his PR for the club.
Well, let's just say that I don't think Spurs will get a better opportunity like this to win a trophy.
No.
This might be the best in a long time. So we got to make the most of it.
I mean, as it is, I don't think Son's even a starter anymore.
I know, but it would still count as a trophy for him, obviously. But even if he is a star player, But yeah, I mean, would you agree with me that this is Spurs' best chance to win a trophy for quite some time?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they get a better chance in this.
So, can be a very fun final, boring final. Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's really anything in between. I think it'll be either really good or really bad. I don't see anything in between. The final's 50-50. Should have put that option, yeah. I am saying equal. Nah. To us, don't know if Ange will be better than Poch, but he will definitely be greater, though. I mean, yeah, Poch is probably Spurs' best manager. You could probably say.
I mean,
I would
yeah,
say
they'll
that.
never reach the Champions League final again. They'll never do it again.
Yeah, but you know what the thing was that's sad with Poch is that the ending. The ending was sad because bro, he did everything he could. I mean, he
Man,
made Spurs a respectable team.
if we just started Lucas Moura in that final, I wonder what would have happened.
So like because bro, like under his leadership, Spurs were consistently getting top four in the Premier League.
And they beat
Consistently.
them, and they beat some very good teams in Europe. I mean, they beat Real Madrid.
So the thing is like, will he ever surpass Poch as a manager? Probably not. But will he have a bigger legacy if he wins the Europa League? Probably.
Probably.
So I think legacy wise, you could probably say, but in terms of manager itself, yeah, Poch is a way superior coach
Possibly
than
get
Poch.
that.
Yeah, Poch is a better coach. Like I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Arsenal are poor this season. Um, bro, we got the worst UEL final ever. Anyways, hi. Is this the? I don't think it's the worst. I think we're being a bit
Bro,
rash.
like Boma Glen versus United would have been worse.
Okay, actually, you know what? Let's actually check this out. Europa League finals.
Oh, okay. If talking about the past, then I'm not sure.
Okay. Let's just look at this quickly. So, wait, we had
Worse
too
than
late.
Wolves.
What the heck? Okay, I think it was the UEFA Cup.
Oh yeah, Spurs. Oh
Europa
yeah,
League.
actually, Spurs won the first ever UEFA Cup.
Yeah, I forgot that. So people are saying Spurs have won the Europa League, which I guess it
It does
kind
count,
of.
but at that time, the UEFA Cup didn't get you into the Champions League, so it probably does not hold as much prestige as it does today.
Yeah, like okay, let's just look at a single match because I think that's more straightforward. So we have Inter Milan, Lazio, Parma, Marseille. What? Wow, Galatasaray, Arsenal.
That was
Wow,
boring. Probably.
dang, Galatasaray,
That was a
Arsenal,
good final.
Deportivo Alaves.
Liverpool.
Wow.
That was good.
Wait, this is the UEFA Cup.
Yeah, UEFA Cup is the Europa League.
Oh yeah. I'm just okay. So the Feyenoord, Borussia Dortmund, Porto, Celtic, Valencia, Marseille, Moscow Sporting, Sevilla, Middlesbrough, Sevilla, Espanyol. Wait, Middlesbrough made the final.
Yeah,
Wow,
I think that was with Juninho, if I'm not wrong.
Okay, Shakhtar, Werder Bremen, Atletico Madrid, Fulham made the final.
Yeah.
Wow, bro, this is actually interesting. Look at Porto, Braga, Atletico Madrid, Bilbao, Chelsea, Benfica. So Sevilla, Benfica, Sevilla, Dinapro, man. This story, man. This is crazy. I think this might be the most I think this might be the most unexpected team to reach the European final in Europa League history.
It's a great story.
Yeah, too bad that club doesn't exist anymore. I believe. I think they're gone. I believe.
Yeah, they're extinct.
So yeah, it's sad. Sevilla, Liverpool, Manchester, Ajax, then Atletico Madrid, Marseille, Chelsea, Arsenal, Sevilla, Inter. This was a good one. Villarreal, Atletico, Man United, Frankfurt, Rangers. Bro, we had 3 finals go to pens. 1-1.
In a row.
And the other at 3, Bayern Leverkusen 0. So, wow.
I disagree.
So, yeah, Europa League.
I disagree that this is the worst final. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
you can't tell me. Like, bro, Atletico Madrid Marseille. That was surely a worst final, even in recent years.
Yeah, come on. Like, I think we're just being recency biased. Come on. You know. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. And wow, the next final is going to take place in Istanbul after this year. So, yeah, for Manchester United, Tottenham, their record in the finals have been 3 finals, UEFA Cup. And for Manchester United, their record in the finals has been, what's the record in the finals? 1 win, 1 loss. So this is their 3rd European final. And for Spurs, this is their 4th. So wow, Spurs have actually made more Europa League finals than United. Well, under the old format, but still, like, that's weird. Are you shocked by that or not really?
I mean, we've played more Champions League finals. I don't really care.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true. So, yeah, Champions League is bigger than Europa League. Anyways, hi. It's not the worst ever low.
Yeah.
Good final. At least no plastic teams like City.
Yes, agreed. Wow. We at least have some football heritage in the final.
Oh man, I have yeah. Anyways, I'm hoping for a Spurs win and a Betis win. Yeah, Spurs win, Betis win will be amazing for me. We'll be there. Imagine Barca lose to Madrid this week and then Bilbao beat Barca last game of the season. Bro, if we okay, I don't want to get off topic here, but if we crumble La Liga, I might have to switch sports, guys, if that happens. So adios, guys, if that happens. Because I cannot have that happen. Folks, please don't give me false hope, low. Lol. It'd be good to set up for the grand final. Yeah. I get the Bodo have earned some decent money from that run. Oh yeah, I forgot to like, guys. Yeah, guys, like and subscribe, guys. Helps the algorithm and it helps recommend the channel. And as we try to grow this channel, guys, maybe we'll try to see. So yeah, run, guys, like, subscribe, and also become a member of the channel. That also helps to grow the channel, guys. It's only $1 per month for access to members' videos, member streams. So yeah, I forgot to like F. It counts. UEFA Cup is Europa League. It's always been the secondary competition. It was then I was thinking about low. Clint Dempsey cooked for Fulham 80 that season. Oh yeah, Clint Dempsey. Clint Dempsey, man, one of USA's best national team players of all time. I don't want to hear anyone say he isn't. Fulham had some Zamaro and Dembele. Yeah. I guess I don't care too much about you. I just want Batiste to win. La Liga doesn't mean nothing. We literally sold UCL semifinal. Nah, La Liga still means something, man. Come on. Wild. All right, so let's go. I think it's a good segue to the Conference League, man. Conference League time. So what are we are my time? So 36 minutes. I think we're doing pretty good in terms of time. So we'll touch on the Conference League. Honestly, I'm not going to touch upon the Chelsea game, but I want to talk about that Betis Fiorentina game was really good. I really enjoyed that game. It's a really good game. But let's start with the Chelsea 1-0. Dirge got on. Not really much to say. Chelsea got the job that we expected this. Yeah, not really anything surprising. Dirge got on. Congrats to them to make the semifinals ever in their European competition. I believe it's the first time a Swedish club's ever made a semifinals, which is incredible. So shout out to Dirge got on. Ever Chelsea has said, man, it was expected for them to make the final. And yeah, so Dewsbury Hall got the goal there. Just to show you guys quickly the stats here. 70 shots, 5 on target. And yeah, it was a pretty routine win for Chelsea. George Gunnar did put up a decent effort. Like what's crazy? I would actually say George Gunnar actually put up a better effort in this game than the first leg, which was at their home. But at the same time though, Chelsea were probably not full gear for this one. They were probably second gear, but still nothing to be ashamed of here. But yeah, anyways, thoughts of this game or not really?
I don't really care.
All right. Okay, so let's move to now. This game, man. This game was great. I love this game. This was a really good game. Honestly, this was a really good game, honestly. This might be one of the best games I've seen in European football. Honestly, this game was less like Barca Inter. Obviously not as good as that one. But you know the comparison I'm making. It was end to end, back and forth. It was chaotic. But yeah, Anthony, man. Anthony scored that great goal. 30th minute of the game. Fantastic goal there from Anthony. That free kick there. I'm like, wow. He was amazing. Then Gosling scored 2 headers there from the set piece there. 34th minute, 42nd minute. It was really good play there. Then, yeah, Real Betis, man, they created a lot of chances. And De Gea, man, De Gea was amazing, bro. Some of the saves he made in this game, outstanding saves. I think there was a chance where I think Betis, there was almost right at the end of the game, where Betis almost scored there, and I think De Gea made a double save. 2 saves in quick succession. And so, for Betis, as said, man, they got the job done extra time. Abde comes off the bench, scores a winning goal there. And yeah, Fiorentina, man, I think honestly the better team did win. I think Real Betis were far the superior team, guys. And Real Betis showed everything they wanted in extra time. And Fiorentina, it just felt.
They only went to extra time because of De Gea.
Yeah, De Gea was honestly beast mode. De Gea didn't go beast mode. It probably would have been done in 90. So for Real Betis, as said, man, very and good achievement. And for Fiorentina, man, first time ever they don't make the Conference League final. First time ever. This is the first time they've been eliminated as competition. So, actually, I guess we could. Losing final. I guess losing finals. Does losing finals count as eliminated?
No, this is the first time they haven't played in every round of the Conference League.
Yeah, you could say that. I guess that's probably the better way to put it. So, yeah, I just think that for Fiorentina, man, they just fell short, and I think they put up a good effort. But for Real Betis, I think they've been rejuvenated, and I think the player of Anthony has really rejuvenated this team. Because I'll be honest with you, if Real Betis didn't have Anthony, I don't think they would have made it this far. If I'm being honest with you, do you agree with that?
What's crazy is that this game it was De Gea versus Anthony.
Oh yes, yeah, that's just a wild thing. Former United players. So, but I mean, do you agree with me that Anthony has really helped Real Betis be rejuvenated, be this amazing? Before.
In these past 6 months, I mean, is it crazy to say it's been one of the better wingers in La Liga these past 6 months?
Probably. Like, and it was crazy because Real Betis before his arrival were like really struggling. They were like mid. I think they were like mid-table. They were struggling.
Not like
Isco
one
got
point,
injured.
not on the 1 point off fifth.
Yeah, and they were like they didn't even finish the top 8. They had to like I think they finished the lower end of the top 24, which was really
Yeah.
shocking for a club this magnitude. But I think the turnaround Anthony has really helped them, and now he's helped them. And this, by the way, this is crazy for you guys. If you guys don't know, this is the first time Real Betis will ever play in a European final. They have never played a European final ever before this game. So,
Yeah.
and I think it's a good way to segue to the final itself. So for Real Betis, as said, man, can they do this, man? We know that no La Liga teams made the final for a Champions League, Europa League, and this is it. This is it. Can Real Betis stop Chelsea? And what's interesting with Chelsea is that Spurs. Wait, you know what I just realized? If Spurs win a trophy, European trophy, Chelsea don't. No, that would be crazy. No.
London is white.
Like, you know how, and also, you'll be crazy. How are our Arsenal fans feeling? Oh, Arsenal. Oh,
They're the
no.
only ones who didn't make the final.
Like, okay, let's speak about Chelsea here. So, for Chelsea's side, man, here's the thing: they've been pretty much gifted they essentially been gifted the final. Like, here you guys go. Here's the final, and you got the gift. But now, no more gifts. Because let's be real, Chelsea really haven't really played against a quality team before the final.
Yeah.
Like, if we're being really real, this is the first time they're going to get a true quality test. And we know Real Betis are good. I mean, this is a team that didn't lose to Barca and didn't lose to Real Madrid this year. I know they lost last year, but I'm saying this year, like, they held their own. So if you're a Chelsea fan, I know you're not, but would you be worried about Real Betis in this final, or you're like, nah, we our squad's like 2 billion, 1.6. Oh, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but our squad is 1.6 billion, and Real Betis is like, I don't know the squad value at the top of my head, but it's less than 1.6 billion. That's for sure. So, like, or you're like, who's Real Betis? We'll easily beat them. I know you're not Chelsea, but just pretend you are.
I think I'll be very confident in if I was a Chelsea fan. I think that I think Real Betis, they're a good team, but they've got a mountain to climb, and it's fine. They've got a mountain to climb, but mountains are there to be climbed, and they have good players like Anthony and Isco, which can certainly help Chelsea. But I think Chelsea are the heavy favorites for the final. But yeah, I mean, I think that Chelsea wouldn't be underestimating Real Betis, because they have been one of the best teams in La Liga in the past 6 months. And yeah, I think Chelsea are the heavy favorites. But I mean, you can't count Betis out because of how good they've been in these past 6 months.
Yeah, so like let's be real. Chelsea, remember we said we're United, like they if they lose, it will look really embarrassing. I would say the same
Yeah.
for Chelsea.
But I think with Chelsea, I think they'll get Europa League anyways, but it'll still be a bad look.
Oh yeah. Because let's be real. Chelsea, I think what they're really craving for is not really the Conference League or the Europa League. They're craving for the Champions League. They want the Champions League the most. They want that coveted Champions League. Because I'm sorry to say, as much as I don't really like Chelsea that much, I'll be honest with you, mainly because they're fans. They're they are a 2-time Champions League winner, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, Chelsea, it would be kind of weird. Like for Chelsea, to said, man, they got to do this, man. They have to do this because for Real Betis, man, it'll be incredible if they do this, man. Incredible. And you know what's really interesting, guys? Every time a Spanish team has played against a Premier League team in the final, Spanish teams always come out on top. Always come out on top. It's always been like this. I think the last time an English team actually beat a Spanish team in the final was, I think, the UEFA Super Cup between Liverpool and Deportivo Alaves. Since then, Spanish teams have owned Premier League teams in the final. So, but as I said, though, era's come to an end, as Tanok said. So maybe Chelsea might end that streak. Maybe it might end that winless streak. So, for Real Betis, as I said, man, Anthony, also, you made really crazy, man. Anthony scores a goal against Chelsea, you know, and because let's be real, Anthony's pretty much an EPL reject. I think you would probably agree with that, right?
Yep.
That would be crazy. Scored against Chelsea and the final. I mean, that would be that would be crazy, man. That would be crazy, to say the least. So, and then Sancho as well. Oh yeah, I just realized Sancho.
Yep.
Like Sancho. Like I just realized Sancho is also a former United player. Like this
It's
is
a
crazy,
clash.
man.
It's a clash of the United rejects. This Conference League has been fully about Manchester United.
So I mean, let's be real. I think we can all agree. Real Betis, Chelsea are the big favorites, but don't sleep on Real Betis. Don't sleep on Real Betis. Like I said, Real Betis have gone through adversity. They've knocked out Fiorentina, guys, a two-time Conference League finalist, by the way. So, and they have also knocked out what's it called? I think they knocked out Ghent as well, which is a pretty much a mainstay in the Conference League, if I'm not mistaken. So, Real Betis, they've had a tougher route to the final. And here's the thing: when you get easy routes to the final, usually doesn't really pay off that well. You want to build yourself. You want to get better as competition goes on. You don't want to get like easy pass. So, do you agree with me that this is actually kind of bad for Chelsea? That this is actually the first time they're going to play against a quality team?
Yeah, I mean, for my team personally, we faced some good teams, decent teams throughout the competition, and that has given, and because of the way we've smashed teams such as Sociedad, the way we got past Leon, the way we smashed Bilbao, it's given me personally confidence in my team to get the job done and to get over the line in the final. Whereas Chelsea, this is the first time we're facing a decent team in the competition, so they won't have the same confidence probably.
Yeah, for sure. So, and yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with Chelsea. As I said, man, Chelsea, they have to do this, man. This is it for them because, bro, and also, guys, Chelsea could also make history by becoming the first team to ever win all three competitions: Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League. And some Chelsea fans are saying that this would make them the biggest club in the world. Now, that that is a bit shameless, but uh, you can't argue with that. Like, it would be a very good achievement. Now, to say they're one of the biggest clubs in the world, obviously not.
I
Obviously
mean, to be fair, the fact that they're even in the Conference League is a bit of a joke. To be fair,
So for Real Betis, as I said, man, history's on the line here for them. But remember, guys, you guys remember when Villarreal made the Europa League final for the first time ever against United? So I'm just saying, man, don't count out the underdogs. Don't count out the underdogs, guys. Don't count it out. Because, like I said, Real Betis, they're very well coached. Pellegrini's done a fantastic job with the team. And like I said, man, La Liga, as I told you guys, La Liga teams have beaten Premier League teams in every single final since Liverpool Deportivo Alaves. So may the best team win. That's all I'm going to say. This final will take place May 28th, so literally a week after the Europa League final.
yep.
So we'll be there to do the live reaction. So, like I said, guys, let's go ahead and read some of you guys' comments, and then we're going to go to the predictor thing, and I guess we'll wrap it up there. So, where are we? Barca winning potential, what would be massive? Prime Barca. Chelsea will finally face a legit test of the final. Got my prediction right for Betis Fiorentina game. Should have had use my booster on that instead. Low. Feel for my boy De Gea. Yeah, De Gea was great, man. Isco Anthony to beat Chelsea. Ooh. Fiorentina's run at Conference League finally comes to an end. Finals coming in. Roma, West Ham, Olympiacos, Chelsea, Betis are solid. 4 teams of win. 4 teams of winners to start the Ignario Conference League tournament. Well, hello. Crystal Palace are from London too, right? Yes, they are. Manchester United, Chelsea to win. Yeah, spooky. Blue says, haha. West Ham, London side too. Poor Arsenal. Chelsea way worse than Barca Real. Obviously, should be worried. Well, yeah, duh. Yeah, I know West Ham is. Just don't remember if Crystal Palace were. Mason Mount scoring twice is crazy. Yes, it is. Mount 2 top finishes. Chelsea favorite, but who cares? Vamos Betis. One of my work colleagues took the day off to go to Old Trafford. Shakusa says, AD, who do you think are the favorites of the Champions League final? I think that's 50-50. I would recommend you check out yesterday's stream. We're going to go discuss more in depth. We're just discussing Europa League and Conference League today, but check out yesterday's stream. We talked about the final more in depth there. Anthony versus Sancho. The and sound personal AD. I'm not wrong in saying this, guys. I am spitting facts, okay? JK, Betis will win Conference League. We'll be there. We'll be there, guys. If Betis wins the Conference League, guys, we will be there, guys. We will be there, guys. We will be there. I will. This will be big for La Liga, man. La Liga, because bro, La Liga teams have been. Yeah, this will be huge for La Liga, man. Real Betis, man. Please, Real Betis, please. Okay, Pocky, stop spamming the chat, please. Imagine if 10-9 gets all his predictions right. Yeah, that's crazy, man. 10-9. All 3 of the teams he predicted to win are literally all in the final. So, as I said, man, 10-9, man, he's a prediction god, prediction expert. Like, I don't think anyone else is better than him at predictions. I'm being deadly serious, guys. Like, I don't think anyone is. And even if he doesn't get all 3 correct, at least he got them all in the final. Like, can you tell anyone else that got all 3 in the final? Probably not. So, you know, come on, my brother Low. Isco going to be the first player to win both Champions League and Conference League. Yeah, potentially, man. Well, potentially. For Chelsea, actually, yeah, that's crazy. I don't think was any of the Chelsea players there when they won the Champions League. Oh yeah, none of the Chelsea players were there when they won the Champions League, right? Yeah, none of these players were there when they won the Champions League. I believe. Yeah, all of these players are completely brand new. So none of these players knows how it feels like to win the Champions League and Europa League. So that's interesting. Oh, yeah. Reece James. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, Bucks. He's the only one. I don't think anyone else. I think he's the only one. I think he's the only one. Reece James didn't win the Europa League, though. I'm pretty sure. Did he win the Europa League? I'm pretty sure he didn't win the Europa League. But I know he won the Champions League, obviously. But I'm pretty sure he didn't win the Europa League. Let me see what the trophies. Yeah, he didn't win the Euro. Oh no, he actually did. Oh, what? He won the Europa League? Wow, he won the Europa League, bro. I didn't even know. Dang. Well, he was probably a squad player that time. So then Reece James could actually complete a set by winning the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League. Dang. Low. Isco Renaissance. Isco's why he's clicking. He came back from injured around the same time Anthony joined low. Of course, Anthony helped too. Reece James was there. Okay, so let's see what you guys say in the poll, guys. So I did a poll for United Spurs final, and most of you guys are saying United are the favorites, which I expect. I think it's not really surprising. And for Chelsea, Real Betis, most of you guys are saying Chelsea are the favorites, which makes sense. Chelsea should be the favorites. But I was just say, guys, it doesn't matter who the favorites are. It's about winning at the end of the day. So, yeah. Okay, so guys, let's look at the gaming predictor thing real quick before I wrap it up here, guys. And yeah, like I said, for Chelsea, man, they have to win the Conference League. If they don't win the Conference League, it will look embarrassing. We will have to clown them. If they do not win the Conference League. And potentially if you don't win the Europa League. Well, sorry, not win the Europa League, but finish the top 5. So let's see how I did the predictors, guys. So I'm currently right now 6th in the league, 5th in the league. 579 points. Yeah, I would agree. Chelsea are the favorites of the Conference League final. And for the Europa League final, I'd probably say 50-50 to be honest with you. And the 440. Wait, I didn't predict the semifinal second. Oh, I didn't predict. I thought I did predict the second legs. Oh, I forgot to predict. Ah, shoot. I forgot to predict. I'm an idiot. Dang. Oh, well. It is what it is. I'm still 2nd and 3rd, though, which is crazy. I completely forgot to predict. I would have overtaken Ito, but whatever. I'm a brick. Yeah, but Rubik's is definitely going to win. There's no way I could win, so it is what it is. But yeah, I completely forgot to predict the Conference League, bro. Like that's crazy. I forgot to do that. Oh man, that is what it is. But yeah, like I said, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. So, like I said, the next stream we're gonna be doing is gonna be on Sunday. The weekend recap. I probably will not be able to do a Classico reaction because I have somewhere to go afterwards, and it's Mother's Day, of course, that day. So I'll see if I could do a weekend recap stream that day, and then obviously next week I'll probably take a break. And then the week after will be the Europa League and Conference League. So yeah, I think next week is a break for me, which I need a break to be honest with you guys. And then the week after we'll have the Europa League and the Conference League and then Champions League final. So Europa League will obviously take place May 21st, Conference League May 28th, and then Champions League final will take place May 31st. So 3 streams coming up. Obviously, we'll have our weekend recaps still here and there, but probably no midweek streams other than the European finals, at least for now, because I need to take a break. So, yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. So, hope you guys did enjoy today's stream. Remember, guys, to like and subscribe on your way out, guys. Let's see how many likes we're on today's stream. Let's see how many likes we're on for today's stream. We're on 9 likes, guys. 9 likes. That's pretty good. So, if you get one more like before we wrap it up, that will be greatly appreciated. As we reach the magic number of 10. And yeah. So I think that's gonna be it. So, anyways, hope you guys did enjoy. Guys, like and subscribe on your way out, guys. And I'll see you guys on the next stream. Peace out.